Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another iRacing video. This time around, we're going to be watching the iRacing Porsche Cup fixed setup at Road Atlanta, where we'll be starting in 23rd position after not qualifying. This time around, their I rating has dropped a little bit. It's around 500 now, and we're in an average of 885 field. So it's going to be an interesting one to see, I think. As always, we have the camera set up to see what our big friend can see. This is Matisse, the driver. And we'll be seeing how this goes. Obviously starting up with the warm-up lap. No surprises here. And it's just a matter of needing that consistency. Obviously, we prioritize our safety rating over the I rating. Well, you can always get more I rating later, but as for now, you're gonna need to mainly just make sure you keep things safe if you want to go up a license, which obviously is the goal. To make sure that we can promote at the end of the season. Obviously the season is still very long. We're only in week number 2 in the Porsche Cup car. And this time around, participating in only one series. Obviously, you haven't seen any action yet from the Wilver Racing lads. That might come soon. We're also involved in the WRC League of Amigos Racing League. We'll see, we've got some more videos coming on that soon. I hope you guys enjoyed the Chile videos. I most definitely did here. And thank you guys, by the way, for all the massive support on the channel. We're close to 7.8k as I'm recording this. I suspect that when the video comes out, we might very well push it over 8k, which is just an insane number. Thank you from both me and Sven. You guys are making this possible, and it's been an incredible journey so far. As always, if you like the content, make sure you like and subscribe. This time around, we are at Road Atlanta, a prominent track, for example, on IMSA. Porsche Cup North America does actually race here as well, which is quite cool. You can just see how much we'll have to do this race. We're all the way at the back. Got a long way to go at things. So far everything's been clean. No big surprises. Left side sent here down the inside, and just gonna let it slide. We don't want to get involved into any incidents. It's clean, and that's what matters most. Now another car overtaking us to the right here. Not been the best of starts, but we can afford this. Keeping things clean, which is arguably more important than actually the rest of the race. That's a little bit of a lock up there. That's scary, and that's going to mean that we're going to go over the sand a little bit. We're going to go drifting. I don't think that's one of Sven's biggest hobbies, but he managed to get back on the track. In the background, you also see another driver going off, so a little bit of a messy start here. Both ends coming through these light turns, and these are actually a little bit deceiving. They're actually tighter than you might expect, and as you can see, that catches Sven off too. Now luckily he's able to cut straight across to make his way back on, but that will be a track cut at the end of the day, and he knows it too. A little bit later on in the race, we're finding ourselves in lap 6 out of 19, making it through nicely and swiftly. And there's a little bit of a spin, too eager on the throttle. Gonna be finding ourselves facing the wrong way. Luckily able to keep the car in the right direction. We actually shifted into reverse there, thinking that we're going to have to reverse back on the track, but we actually managed to keep it clear under the barriers, which is the most important part. So no damage done to the car.
Car stop on the left. You got a slow car on the left. Go right.
Now we'll see some more track action. We get that overtake done. Satellap will be falling away and will be taking that position. Now we're just keeping things clean. And a little bit too wide here over the curb, and luckily we actually keep the car in the right direction. I was about to say surely that's going to be either we go off or we're going to see a driver bump into us, but no, that's actually not the case. I'm surprised we kept that clean all the way. Good recovery being made there. But yeah, we do find ourselves struggling, and this time on the curbs. Yeah, this track is just so incredibly deadly. It's not been a good race for us here. At least not for now.
The car behind is closing on you. The gap is 9.8 seconds.
Now, see some more fights coming in probably soon, but for now we're just gonna focus on keeping things clean. And what I find interesting as well here on this track, obviously featured in many major racing series, it is Road Atlanta being probably one of the most iconic ones, I have to say. See Road Atlanta featuring quite a few races that are very popular, and I think it's actually an awesome track because of the elevation, and you have a couple opportunities to get by, but it's also deadly if you get it wrong. Obviously located in Georgia, as the name might suggest. Obviously they have the Petit Le Mans here, probably the most iconic one, as we're finding ourselves going off. That is not a good look, I have to say here. In the end we are still up positions from our starting position, so I guess it could definitely be worse, but trying to get a little more out there. We keep pushing here, mainly getting involved with drivers that are trying to lap us. So they might just be let by. And once again, once you eat that curb completely, it's basically like the Nürburgring. It feels like, right? Every single curb that you hit is deadly. And when I say Nürburgring, I obviously mean the Nordschleife. So not an easy one per se, but in the end, driver ahead of us, we're making it through cleanly, which is the most important part. We want to make sure that we don't get ourselves involved in battles with them, as they're driving a very different race than we are, and they know it too. More to come. We see some more drivers behind us looking to pass us potentially here over on the straight. They actually be successful at that, I'm not so sure. We're gonna find out soon. That's an overtake. It's looking quite good, I have to say. The second one will follow along pretty soon, so we'll let some drivers by. There goes another one. That was a little bit awkward, but everybody makes it through. He's not gonna be happy about that one. Would have loved to stay with the drivers ahead of him, but yeah, not much that we can do about it there. Sometimes you're just in the wrong spot. We're gonna end up finishing that race in well, P19 at least, so in the end it's not horrible, but just hoping for a little bit more. That's not the case this time around here, but it was a very tough race. And we knew that too, so we're gonna have to take it for what it is. P19 in the end, with losing some I rating along the way, but we do actually get our safety rating up. Luckily it was mainly off tracks, no contacts with other drivers. In the end we found ourselves in position 3,969 with 12 points, so definitely not the biggest result yet, but that's just how it is sometimes. Let me take you through the highlights of the race. Obviously, a lot has happened. We're going to be here to watch it all the way. First to see how things will be going. And this is where we finally find out how the race actually went through for the other drivers. Starting it off immediately with the start of the race, we see that it's Jordan Bouillet currently leading the way through this. He's going to be looking to keep that lead straight, which he has done in the beginning. Big strain of cars, but he's already able to keep clear. Already creating quite a bit of the gap there, which will help him immediately try and build that up. A bit later on, see some drivers in a little line. There's Emile Bakum losing control and going way too wide. Basically passenger at this point, and oh, there's another car who's facing the wrong way. Piotr Skarzinski. That's unfortunate. See, he went off, and then Piotr went off himself, and then guess what? Wrong place, wrong time for Emile Bakum. That's quite a shame. And it cost them quite a bit of time. Plus, this definitely won't do their safety rating any good. But we'll be seeing how this goes. Recovery can definitely be made from this, and they know it too, so they'll be taking that as if nothing happened. But shame, it's damage done. Here's our Verdot. Fighting with Jip Liankai, who's trying to go down the inside here. And oh, that is the massive send. And he can't get the car going off. It was also Edwin Bartley in the background going off. But it was our Verdot that got hit in the end. And that is just so unfortunate. What a massive incident. That is all the way through. And I can't believe I've ever seen that before. It's so weird. Here's Sven Matista, and has to be expected, driving in the pack nicely. Looking for a potential move down the inside, but there's no space. We're just going to let it be in there. We slide off the track, and we're going to finding ourselves over in the sand, later on the grass. So taking quite a detour here, and it's once again Kilter joining us, as will be demonstrated here. He also had a tough race this time around, quite a few spins. Luckily able to turn around the car cleanly. Able to continue the race as if nothing happened, which is great news. Now here we see quite a battle. Many drivers still chasing along here. This is lap 3, keep that in mind. It is Marvin Schlaff together with Kevin McCamley, the driver going off first, but it's actually Marvin to join him immediately, the number 5. They both go off, but I think it was unrelated to each other. I think just both made the same mistake, maybe overestimating the speed they... underestimating the speed they had with the slipstream coming in. They both lose the car and are able to continue driving eventually. But oh, that is not a good look, I have to admit. It just shows how incredibly difficult these races can be. But this is Nick Morton is going to see Mauro Fringini go up the inside. And Jip Liankai will be looking to join in with a potential other driver following Tuna. The Valvoline's car is going to have to stay behind for now. But he's going to open up that attack a little bit later on still. Looks like that position will be staying in that way at least, but that is 2 quick positions lost there by Nick Morton. Here is Alejandro Daniel, the driver we are currently following along with, the number 13 car, and he is going to find himself over the curb. It's a similar mistake to the one that we made, and that will be the crash, unfortunately. And that is quite the spin. Now there's a little bit of contact between the two. It's Monte de Preto who's going to be finding himself going off. It was Daniel Spanos who got a little bit of a nudge there. Both drivers able to continue. And taking it for what it's worth, is going to be able to rejoin the track rather easily. That is a little bit of a curveball there. Taking the straight road, taking the escape road. Arthur Dodd will be finding himself with a track cut, able to join back in. And a bit later on, you still see so many drivers diving down each other. So many drivers still in the close group. Here is Daniel Dubsek, and it's the same curb that has caught off quite a few people, including us, of course. Not a good look, I have to admit. And able to continue the race, luckily for him. So in the end, no big damage done, but definitely not an easy one still. Here we have another battle on track. It is Emil Bakken trying to go down the inside of Jaco Rebiak. And Alejandro Daniel looking to see if he can get an opportunity down it too. And actually they both go by in clean fashion. More drivers joining in. It's actually a third driver joining in later on. So a big position change. Here's Elian Gonzalez. He tried to get by this orange Porsche a little bit earlier. This time around makes a mistake and is going to be finding himself touching that wall rather hard, unfortunately. Crashes the car and is struggling to get out. Is that then the end of the race? Can he get the car turning in the right direction? The answer is no, and he's going to teleport back to the pits. Here is Emil Bakken, finding himself going off the wrong way, unfortunately. Able to rejoin, being careful with it though. And then, unfortunately, finds himself cutting across again. Felipe Santos actually joins in on that action. Massive race, massive incidents we've seen so far. Maybe not always the most spectacular ones, but we've seen so many off tracks. It feels like so many slight nudges to the barrier. And luckily, the number 9 is able to continue the race. A little bit later on, it's Felipe Santos who is still trying to drive away from Olivia Buckham, for example, but finds himself touching that barrier. That is quite a touch there. I think his car is going to be quite okay, so he would be able to continue the race. That is quite a notch there. Here is Marvin Schlaff trying to get down the inside of Alejandro Daniel, who's going to leave him the space. Try and go for a little bit of a move here. They're side by side, but there's still some overlap into this. So it's not out of it completely. Now obviously coming up to the start of the turn. Woo, there's braking later, and it looks like it will be Alejandro Daniel who's going to give it a go. Marvin Schlaff then has the better exit, I think. Should be able to succeed in overtaking there. Yes, immediate, but the battle's not over yet. Alejandro Daniel is going to keep pushing, trying to at least stay with and hoping that he makes a mistake somewhere along the way. It's not looking likely. Here is Arstak Talib, a driver we have been battling for a bit. He's going to be finding himself spinning across. Takes a massive track cut going over the grass, and then unfortunately finding himself facing the wrong way. He's able to rejoin as if nothing happened, but that is just not a good look, I have to admit. Now here comes another swing up back to the track, and he's lost so many positions actually doing this, which is quite a shame. And then he loses control again immediately. Oh no, that is just so heartbreaking, I have to admit. That is not how you want to be looking around here. There he goes. Back into it again. A little bit later on, we're finding ourselves in a nice little group here of 5 drivers. The number 23 car trying to chase RO3 Guinea. It's Shane Paul behind the wheel, and then he gets contact with Yip Liang Kai. That is such a big hit. Yip Liang Kai actually finding himself facing the wrong way too. Shane Paul able to continue, but battle basically already over before it even started, it feels like. There is that same incident now seen from Yip Liang Kai's POV, and he's going to be very frustrated about that one, finding himself actually facing the wrong way. Is able to return to the right way eventually, but has to take it easy. You obviously don't want to be getting yourself involved. And then, well, it's able to rejoin the track as if nothing happened, so that's a great look. And here's another spin. It is Emile Bakum actually keeps the car in the right direction, so it's a nice little extra bonus for style points there, but not able to get the speed in that he wanted. But that's okay, that sometimes happens. Here's an attack by Jakub Rebiak in the number 7 Polish Porsche, and it's going to try and go down the inside here, but there's no space simply, so it's going to have to take it a little bit later on, see if another opportunity might open. At the moment we're not seeing it. Continues with it as if nothing happened. Here comes a little bit of a spin almost, I was gonna say, but yeah, that's it's one that we've seen before. There's Arshad Talib overtaking Sven Matisse as was to be expected there. Struggling to keep the car on the road. Here goes more, but yeah, not quite the race they had in mind. Here's another big shunt into the wall, and that is going to be Piotr Skarzinski, who finds himself, unfortunately, into the barrier again. Drivers joining back in. He's able to rejoin the race, but oh, that's a big one. Actually, excuse me, that's not Skarzinski, it's Jakub Rebiak this time around. It's the other pole. Quite a few poles in this race, as you can see. None of them actually got into pole, though, because that race is still being led by the same driver in the beginning, Jordan Boulay. And here is another big off for the blue Porsche, the number 15. This is Skarzinski, and finds himself having to rejoin the track. He's able to do so, but then has to go off basically immediately just to make the corner, and it's just not a good look for him. Finds himself once again spinning around and comes to a stop. Has to rejoin the track now. I don't even know, you can't really drive forward there, unfortunately. Has to go the other way. There's an invisible barrier, as he demonstrates nicely. Rejoins. Now he's in the middle of the track, and there's contact between the two. Felipe Santos That is frustrating because obviously there's just nothing you can do about this, right? He didn't see it coming at all. And there's a big mistake being made there by Piotr Skarzinski. You have to imagine that was not what he was trying to go for. He's able to rejoin the race at least, but it's going to cost him quite a little bit of time. And as a result now, it's the number 1 car. The race leader, Jordan Bouillet, makes his way by nicely. Still the number 1, still unbeaten, and he's been killing it pace-wise. Looking very sharp this entire race. Here's Felipe Santos now getting chased by the Mats Rens car, and there's potential for a move there. And indeed, he does want to go side by side here. And that will be the driver getting lapped now. Number 1 driver keeps at it though. Alejandro Daniel, the next up target. We've seen him involved in some battles, but he's mainly kept it clean all along. And even though that is the case, Jordan Bouillet is obviously going to be pushing through, lapping the cars ahead as if nothing ever happened, because he's obviously trying to get a victory here over in the iRacing Road Atlanta. Arthur Dodd looking to potentially come around to get by Matthias Eklund. And keeping up that chase, no matter what happens, tries to put in that good result, or at least tries to. Mats Rens now wants to get by Alejandro Daniel, and will be doing so successfully. Lapping him, of course, for the first time. So we're seeing some drivers that are on very different laps now, because even the midfield's getting overtaken. Here's Sven Matthijs. Makes it through this nicely. The race leader coming up behind, and there is almost a spin already. And then you get on the curbs, and it's very slippery. Find yourself going the wrong way. Luckily, avoiding major damage. But many drivers will join into lap. Number 13 goes by in the end. He's obviously on the same lap as we were, so that's actually a position that we lost on track there, unfortunately. But that's obviously not what you want to be seeing. And it's just part of it here. Also, Edwin Bartley tries to go by. That would just be that from that point on. A bit later on, we see more drivers getting involved into this. And there's quite the lockup from Sven Matthijs. That is another position gone. Fortunately, here is Yip Lian Kai together with Arstat Salib, who find themselves now kind of all the way at the back. Still fighting for position. Some big incidents happening between the two drivers earlier. Albeit that was when they were in that group. The driver really being at fault for that one, unfortunately. But Yip has been a little bit unfortunate with just being in the wrong place at the wrong time. This time around, though, it's going to be the number 6 car of Arsat Talib trying to make it by. Move looking successful, I was going to say, but then actually coming out, it's going to go a bit wide, and then it's just a sprint race. Basically a drag race to actually who makes it first to the first corner. They keep it clean all the way through. The most important part, in the end, it looks like Lipjanka will be victorious in that one. We'll have to fetch him off a little bit longer if possible. Here is the number 17 car. Athanasios Fanos together with Nick Morton. Intense battle, but so far keeping it clean and respectful on both sides. Awesome to see, by the way. The driving standards are really getting up there. Apart from maybe a few unlucky incidents, and well, one blind rejoin, it's been really good, and that's honestly incredibly impressive, I have to say. In the end, there's still no winner in this battle. Nick Morton trying to go down the inside. There is no space there, so he's going to have to do it another way. There, well, looks like the battle's still not over yet here. Number 4 still trying to go side by side all the way through this. A long, long battle. As it stands right now, this is the battle the number 19 makes his way by. Here is the car in second position. Mats Rens finding himself getting close to David Dubchak, who's had a unsuspecting race so far. not involved in any major battles, and this time around obviously is not gonna interfere with anything. And that is, I think, the best way of going at this. Here is Jordan Bouillet trying to get by Yip Liankanai. Just once again trying to extend that lead over from the number 2 Mats Rens, but he's quite far down. And this man has just been driving an incredible race. Steep. Doing such an awesome job at this. In the end, while keeping up that lead all the way through towards the last lap, which we're not on yet, but we're getting quite close to it. Here is an onboard with Sven Mathies. Matthias Ackland trying to come around, and obviously that is a driver that's lapping us, so we're not going to get involved to many other battles. It is Thanasios Vanos joining in on the action. Gonna let him by. Number 4 also tries to come around. That is Nick Morton, who's also lapping us now. We're losing quite a few positions, but on track it doesn't really matter in the end. Here is the race leader, Jordan Bouillet, trying to take his victory here at Road Atlanta. It will be a well-deserved one, keeping things clean absolutely all the way. No big competition coming in from him, and we'll be taking that. That is just such an awesome result, I have to be honest. Later on, we see more battles now, all the way through this. Thanasios Vanos trying to overtake Matthias Eklund, and successful at that. He kept the door right open. We'll be able to take that position right before the race ends, so that's quite a good result. Now let's look at a hot lap, shall we? Fastest lap by the man himself, Jordan Bouillet. No surprises there. He's been incredibly sharp so far. And also a friendly reminder, if you're liking the content so far, make sure you like and subscribe. And as we see it here, trying to push the car to the limits. Just you can see that he's actually staying quite clear of the curbs here, taking that one a little bit, but also making sure he keeps the car straight. And that's obviously where it went wrong for many other drivers. I think that is fair to say, fortunately the case. Here comes this a little bit later on, taking that right-hander there. Now on this long straight, see, this is a very impressive lap time around the 122, which just shows how short the track actually is. Not a lot of people realize this, but it's quite a fast-paced track. The end, well, here's another video on screen. If you want to check that out, feel free to. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel as well. My name is Ricky from RDC Broadcasting. Absolute pleasure providing the commentary for you again. I wish you guys a very pleasant rest of your day. We'll see you guys later. Bye bye.